and let's get this yoga party started. So I'll invite you to find a comfortable seated position, whatever that might look like and feel like for you. Give yourself permission to bring in extra support in the form of bolsters, blankets, pillows, and notice how your low back feels as you find this seated position, and then make some adjustments. I find that despite my whole lifetime of being a dancer and a yogi, it makes sense for me to sit up onto a prop and support underneath a knee or two with a prop, because that makes my joints happy, keeps my low back happy. So I invite you to be extra curious and compassionate with the way that you find yourself seated. And as you start to shift gears out of the machinations of your day and into this time and space together, I'm going to go ahead and ring my gong so that we can all find our way into our bodies, into our breath, and into this present moment. Quieting the mind to the sound and sensation of the breath. Inviting yourself into a balanced pattern of breath. Taking a moment to simply notice the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale. Just observing. Inviting this natural ebb and flow of the breath to carry you through your practice. We'll bring our palms together, rest our chin towards our chest, and continue to observe the breath, inviting the back of the neck to open. On an exhale, perhaps we'll let the breath fall from the mouth. And then we'll interlace our fingers and we'll press the palms forward towards the center of our virtual circle. We'll continue to breathe deeply into the back of the lungs, into the back of the heart. Allow the head to fall forward if that feels natural to you. And continue to press through the palms, the wrists, the fingers, breathing and observing the sensations in the arms, the shoulders, the hands. Breathing into the back of the lungs, we'll inhale and stretch the arms overhead now. Lifting the heart space, opening the armpits, and stretching up through the spine. Inviting a sense of lift, the rib cage floating up above the pelvis. We might even sway ever so subtly, just finding access to the space between the rib cage and the pelvis. Breathing deeply. Coming back to center, we'll interlace those hands behind the head now. Relax the shoulders. On an in-breath, take the elbows away from the body. On an out-breath, curl the elbows in toward one another. Inhale, opening up, and exhale, curling in. Continuing to move gently in the shoulders and the neck, observing the flow of the breath. When it feels natural for you, keep that elbows towards each other for an extra breath or two, directing the breath to the back of the neck. Releasing the arms, let the elbows and the wrists drop to the lap. And we'll allow the head now to slowly explore movement from side to side. Allow for a very gentle pendulum motion. Ear to shoulder on an in-breath, chin to chest on the out-breath. Relax the shoulders and consider allowing the upper spine to respond to the weight of the skull. You might invite a rotation in the head and neck, moving into the back space. You might prefer some other variations of movement that feel more natural to you. Just surrender the weight of the cranium. Relax the shoulders and observe how it feels to let the head take you for a little ride. Heavy wrists, heavy elbows, heavy leg bones, heavy skull. Breathing deeply here. when it feels natural to you, rest the chin forward and interlace the hands behind the back. If it's not comfortable to take a grip with your hands, consider just placing your fingertips behind you at the floor. Breathing deeply here and melting the shoulder blades together behind the heart. Resting the weight of the head forward, breathing deeply and melting the space between the shoulder blades. Welcome, James. On an in-breath, we're going to sweep the arms all the way out and up, stretching them overhead once again. Relaxed in the pelvis, comfortably seated. Maybe we're sitting in a chair or on the edge of a couch or onto some props on the floor. We're going to keep relaxing the pelvis, relaxing the legs, letting them be supported with some support with a block or a pillow. And then we can take a little stretch with the right fingertips dropping to the earth and the left arm stretching up and away. So James, I see that you've engaged your camera, but I'm thinking you might have something covering your video, covering the screen, or the lens rather, of the camera, because I can't see you yet. Let's take another few breaths here, stretching into the left side body and reaching the left arm across the body to make a big circle with that left arm. Big circle with the left arm. Take another few breaths here and notice the right shoulder. I'm using my fingertips, the right fingertips against the earth, and I'm lifting up out of them, lifting up out of that left shoulder so I'm not crunching in the right shoulder. Right shoulder spacious, left arm reaching and circling, however it makes sense to you. And we're going to take it up and over to the other side. Inhale as you stretch up and exhale as you find your way. Left fingertips at the earth, right arm overhead, breathing into the right side body. Deep oceanic breathing into that right lung. Again, maybe it's going to feel good to you to circle the right arm, moving it around in space, checking in with that right shoulder, and making sure that the left shoulder remains spacious. So we're not crunching or falling into that left shoulder. Like I said, I'm using my left fingertips on the earth and I'm just lifting up and away from them. Spacious, stretching and breathing into the right lung. On an in-breath, we'll take both arms overhead again. Big stretch up here. On an exhale, we're going to rotate towards the right. The left hand rests at the right knee, and the right hand rests just to the side of your right hip. We're going to use the fingertips against the earth and the right knee as a point of leverage to encourage this rotation. It's the left shoulder that's coming forward and the right shoulder that's drawing back. That's it. So James, is it possible for you to release your camera lens? Maybe you have a piece of paper covering it on your laptop or your computer. One of the rules of the Om practice classes is that we need to be able to see you so that we can make sure that you're safe. Check in with the neck here, turning the chin from shoulder to shoulder. Returning the gaze forward towards the left shoulder and taking just a couple more breaths here. On an in-breath, arms floating overhead, we're coming back to center. Pausing here for a moment, resetting, finding that neutral spine, and then exhaling, rotating towards the left. Right fingertips towards the left knee now. Left fingertips towards the earth or towards a block behind you as a point of leverage from which to align the spine. Lifting the crown of the head upward, encouraging the right shoulder forward and the left shoulder back. Deep oceanic breathing. Turning the head, checking in with the neck. Just another breath or two here. Inhaling, arms floating overhead. Breathing deeply here, extending upward, and then exhaling. We're going to bring the hands back towards the knees, just letting them float down. With the palms on our knees, we're going to check in with our shoulders and just inhale to lift the shoulders up towards the earlobes and exhale to drop them. So it's going to look like this. Inhale, lift the shoulders up towards the ears and squeeze them tight. Squeeze them up as if you're trying to squeeze out all the tension in the neck and the shoulders. Squeezing and squeezing and squeezing a little bit more and squeezing for just another moment. And then we're going to super slow motion begin to melt the shoulders away from the ears, relaxing the shoulders a little bit more with each exhale and noticing how much more they can relax. With each exhale, falling away from the earlobes, the shoulders are dropping. Taking just a few more breaths here to watch the muscles in the shoulders and the neck relax even more with your next exhale. from here, we're going to make our way into some cat-cow motion. So I'm going to encourage you to stay seated if you like. Don't worry about being on hands and knees if that doesn't feel comfortable for you. You can bring heart forward on the in-breath and heart back on the out-breath. Whenever, if ever, you're inclined to be on hands and knees, be my guest. Make that transition at your own pace. So James, I'm going to have to remove you from the class. I'm sorry, just because I can't see you on the video. Those are just the own practice rules. And I'll have somebody get in touch with you to help explain how to get your camera going. Have a great day. Breathing deeply here in your cat-cow motion. Continue to rock and roll, inviting the pelvis to move in response to the heart space opening on the in-breath and the heart space moving back up towards the ceiling on the out-breath. Consider bringing your hands just a little further forward on the mat to give your spine a little more space, your shoulders a little more space. See how that feels for you. Inhaling as you melt and exhaling as you round. You might even choose to tuck your toes on the in-breath, bringing your feet into action. And on the out-breath, you might choose to come up onto fingertips, inviting even more space. And taking your time here, rounding the spine, placing your hands across your thighs, slowly walking your hands up across the front of the body towards the back. The hands come towards the pelvis eventually. We're directing the tailbone down here for Ustrasana, camel pose. Make an effort to align your knees underneath your hip sockets. Keeping a parallel position for your thigh bones. And with your hands, I'll encourage you to lower them over the soft, fleshy abundance of your gluteus area, relaxing that space into the hands and directing the tailbone downward. Keeping a sense of lift from the heart space, think about going up rather than going back. The elbows are dropping back, the shoulders are dropping down, and the heart space is rising upward. Spacious and expansive through the spine. Taking a couple more breaths here, check in with the back of your neck. I encourage you to bring your chin towards the notch at the base of the throat and keeping your gaze straight forward in space, the back of the neck spacious. And with your next inhale, coming up and over, we're going to reach the hands forward, tuck those toes, and stretch it out in a downward facing dog. Keep your knees bent and use your leg strength to pull your pelvis back in space. Spread the fingers, open the palms, press the mat forward with your hands, and draw the pelvis back with your leg strength, opening up the armpits, extending through the spine. You might even choose to gently rest more weight into one heel and then the other, allowing for a subtle shift in the hips even, just allowing for any variations in the pose that feel delicious to you in this moment. Breathing ever more consistently, ever more deeply. Deep oceanic breathing. Feeling the belly button draw in and up with each exhale, hollowing the belly, hollowing the lungs. We'll release the knees back towards the mat now. And we're going to take a twisted gait pose. The right leg is going to extend straight out to the side of the mat. So the sole of the right foot is flat to the earth and the toes are extended forward. Let's see if I can get you a view. So the left hand, the left knee, and the right foot are making an L shape. They're at a right angle, and then the right arm reaches up to the sky. So here's where I'm going to invite you to pay attention to where the crown of your head is directed. It is tempting to turn this into a back bend. I'm going to encourage you not to. I'm going to encourage you to think bringing your heart space, bungee cord, your heart space, towards your right toes and direct the crown of the head forward on your mat. So you're rotating the whole torso towards the right foot. Rather than pulling back and away, we're going to be bringing the crown of the head straight forward in space, and we're letting the right foot perhaps even come a little closer to the body so that the right hip can come up and over the left hip. So I'm going to rotate so that you can see a different angle of me here. Breathing deeply here. Heavy right foot, relaxing the right hip. Directing the crown of the head forward, you might drop the head and release the neck. You might circle the right arm or even drop it behind the back. See if you can keep the left shoulder spacious now. So we're avoiding collapse in the left shoulder. We're lifting up and out of it. And we're dropping the weight of the right foot ever more heavily to the earth. Breathing deeply here. The right arm falls back. And we're lifting up and out of the left shoulder as we direct our heart towards our right toes. You might choose to place a block underneath that left hand. The left hand is essentially under the left shoulder. So this is not Vastisthasana. This is actually a twisted gait pose. So we can come back now and we're going to explore a classic gait pose. Both hands are on the floor in front of us. We're going to engage the core and we're going to start to walk our hands towards the body. We're pushing down into the floor with that right foot and we're going to start to come up. So now we're activating down into the sole of the right foot. We're up on our left knee. We can place the right hand on the right leg and take the left arm up to the sky. Breathing deeply here in gait. This is a very awkward and challenging position, and I'll encourage you to maybe even use your right hand at your right hip and relax the right side of the pelvis. Allow it to drop down. The tailbone is directed towards the left knee, and we're going to lift up a little higher, reaching up and out of the left hip, relaxing the right side of the pelvis towards the earth, dropping the tailbone, big stretch across the front and the back side of the body. Heavy right leg. Deep oceanic breathing. Check in with your neck. Where's your gaze? Notice the neck. When it feels complete for you, we're going to engage the core, place our hands carefully back onto the mat in front of us. Here, I'm going to invite us to take the right leg up. See if we can lift it up off the floor, bend the knee, and pull it on in. Let the knee drop in towards the earth. Take the left arm to the sky, big breath in, left knee dropping to the earth, left arm reaching up and away now. Here we're going to find our thread the needle twist, left arm coming underneath. Maybe you're going to place a block or pillow underneath the left ear. The pelvis rests hovering over the knees. The right hand might want to rest into the left hand, and we can direct the right elbow up and the right shoulder back. Maybe there's a different variation of the pose that you're comfortable working with. That right arm might want to come up to the ceiling or back behind you. Whatever feels exactly right to you in this moment, honoring your body wisdom. Left ear dropping, right shoulder stacking over left shoulder, directing that upper spine into a twist, using the arms, the hands as points of leverage to assist, and keeping the pelvis, the groins, the low back relaxed and neutral. Breathing deeply here, taking your time exploring this thread the needle twist. Melting the space between the shoulder blades with each breath. On an exhale, releasing the right hand back to the mat, we're going to push into the right hand and take the left arm back to the sky, keeping the left knee grounded. We're opening up and rooting down at the same time. Returning to all fours, let's take a few cat-cows here. Inhaling and exhaling, gently releasing the spine. Here we go again. Let's come on into a neutral spine and prepare for our twisted gait. The right hand might want to be on a block. We're stretching the left leg out to the side. The sole of the foot is flat. We're rotating the torso towards the left toes and extending the crown of the head forward in space. We're lifting up and out of that right shoulder. Heavy left foot. Allowing the left side of the pelvis to stack up and over the right. That means that the left foot might come closer to the body in order for that pelvis to stack and rotate. That's it. So Patty, bring your right hand in front of your right knee, just as if you were on all fours. Yep, that's it. And then direct the crown of your head forward on your mat, forward in space, not away, not behind you, but actually forward in the same. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So we're imagining that there's a bungee cord between our heart and the left toes, pulling the heart towards the left toes. Not away, but towards. Taking a few more breaths here. Feel free to play with that left arm, make some circles, drop it behind the back, check in with the neck. Heavy left foot. Release the weight of the left leg into the earth. Let there be surrender in the left hip. Breathing deeply here. Check in with the neck, crown of the head towards the front. That's it. You got it, John. Keep directing the chin just a little bit further inward. we're going to take our time now transitioning to a classic gate pose. Both hands on the mat. We make an adjustment perhaps in the left foot. We're neutral in the pelvis. We're going to walk our hands towards the body and up. Slow and steady transition. That left side of the pelvis dropping here. This is awkward and uncomfortable. Allow it. Take that left hand and perhaps use the left thumb as a little nudge to encourage that left side of the pelvis downward. The right arm reaches up. That's it. So John, let your left foot come a little closer to your body so that it's not pulling you off your center. Yeah. Left side of the pelvis dropping. Right side body opening to the breath. Maybe the left hand is at the pelvis. Maybe the left hand is at the left leg. We're making sure that the right thigh bone is straight up and down, not on an angle. So look down. You might need to bring your left foot closer to the body so that that right leg is vertical. Right thigh bone is vertical. We want the pelvis to be as neutral and centered over that right knee as possible. Just another breath or two here, having found a few subtle adjustments for yourself, breathing and observing. When it feels complete for you, we're going to bring our hands back towards the mat. Super careful. Engage the core. Hands to the mat. Here, we're going to engage that left leg and lift it up, and then bend the knee, place the knee in and under. Take the right arm to the sky as the right knee roots down, the right arm reaches up. We're big. We're extending open through the right side body, and then we're finding our twist. Right arm settles underneath. We're dropping our right ear. We're dropping our right shoulder. We're aligning the pelvis over the knees, and we're relaxing the groins. We're relaxing the low back, relaxing the hips. And we're using our hands as points of leverage to assist in directing the left shoulder over the right shoulder. The right ear dropping. Breathing deeply here. Directing your breath into the space between the shoulder blades. Melting that space with each breath. Taking your time here. Once again, please feel free to explore any variations that feel good to you, taking as much time as you like in this pose. When it feels complete for you, the left arm returns to the mat, and we'll press into that left hand. We'll open the right arm and root down into the right knee as we do so, lifting up out of the left shoulder once again, and returning to some cat-cows. Here, I'll invite you to once again to make your way towards a downward facing dog at your own pace. Stretching it out when it feels exactly right to you to do so. If you prefer not to come into a full downward facing dog here, you always have the option of anything else your body is inclined to explore. A child pose or a puppy pose or a dolphin pose, whatever your body is desiring. Listen to your body wisdom. Just a few more breaths, working exactly as it feels right to you. Perhaps you're ready to bring some movement into whatever you're doing. Perhaps stillness is where it's at. Honor exactly what your body is inclined to explore in this moment. There's no right or wrong. So I'll invite us all to make our way ultimately to a seated position. Time has flown. We're going to make our way carefully onto our backs with our hands behind our knees. We're going to round our spine and carefully release onto our spine. And ultimately, bring our knees towards our chest. Give ourselves a congratulatory hug for having made it to this point in our practice. Maybe it feels good to sigh a little bit, and when it feels right to you, consider opening the ankles up, the knees out, finding some variation of a happy baby pose. So ankles rise, perhaps with the help of fingers, but perhaps with the hands behind the calf muscles instead, allowing the elbows to rest at your side, alleviating strain in neck and shoulders. Give in to gravity here. So whatever variation of the pose works for you, take time to make your shape, get your grip, and then drop to gravity. See where you can surrender even more to gravity. Consider also turning your head gently from side to side, checking in with your neck. And let's bring our attention directly into the abdomen and the fullness of our breath. We're going to use this pose as a cleansing opportunity for the abdominal space, inhaling and filling it up with breath and exhaling to hollow it out, pulling belly button towards the spine, rinsing out those abdominal organs. Big focused breath here. And I'm going to invite you to consider extending the legs into some variation of a straddle. Knees may be bent. Your hands can support the legs by resting elbows at your side and then bringing your hands up to capture the sides of your legs. You might want to flex your feet. You might want to grab big toes, yogi toe lock, if that works for you. Allowing for a supine straddle here. Legs open, dropping to gravity. And you're gathering the feet slowly back inward. We'll place them towards the earth. We're crossing the right ankle towards the left knee now, an ankle to knee pose to open that right hip. Maybe the right knee is encouraged away with your right hand. Maybe you'll take the left foot off the floor or even grab the left knee with your hands, working with ankle to knee. Any variation of ankle to knee that works for your body in this moment. Breathing deeply and encouraging surrender, relaxing the jaw, the forehead, the eyeballs, the scalp. Breathing deeply into that right hip. Let's take a twist, crossing the right knee over the left knee now. Adjust the arms out like wings and slowly shift the pelvis to the right. Just nudge it over an inch or so, and then let the knees fall to the left. Finding a supine twist, right knee crosses over left knee, right hip stacks up and over left hip. Right shoulder comes off the mat here, most likely, and we allow for it. We just direct our breath into that right lung and surrender with each exhale. Deep breathing here. Carefully transitioning when your body wisdom is indicating that it's time. An exhale will guide you back. The feet engage so that you can push subtly towards the floor with that left foot. Place the right foot back to the mat. Readjust the pelvis and let the left ankle cross the right. Breathing deeply into that left hip. We'll take a little bit of time here with our ankle to knee pose once again. Relaxed in the shoulders, relaxed in the jaw, relaxed in the face, the tongue, the eyeballs, the scalp, even the cheekbones and the ears. Breathing deeply here. Relaxing and accessing the left hip. Taking your time, we'll place the right foot flat, cross the left knee over, adjust the pelvis to the left, and drop the knees to the right. Again, the left arm or left shoulder is likely to come off the mat. Let it. Allow the breath to move into that left lung and breathe deeply, melting muscular tension with each exhale. Relaxing the groins, the shoulders, the jaw. Relaxing even more with each exhale. And once again, as your body wisdom dictates, exhale to gather your knees back towards your chest, curling in slowly and lovingly, holding yourself with curiosity and compassion. Checking in here and preparing for Shavasana, allowing for the possibility of simply dropping the legs and the arms right where you are and starfishing out full surrender. Maybe it makes sense for you and your body to add a little prop under a knee or two, allowing for whatever feels efficient and graceful in this moment. Dropping into our final state of relaxation, this 0 point state, having integrated body, mind, and breath, we rest in pure potential. Perhaps you have the time and space in your day to remain in Shavasana. If that's the case, please feel free to do so. If you're feeling ready to transition, allow for a slow and careful reanimation in fingers and toes. And slowly gathering knees towards chest, pausing to observe and breathe. And then rolling to one side and using your hands when you're ready to come to sit. We can bring our palms together and just briefly come together in closure, resting chin to chest and taking another breath into the back of the neck. Honoring your own inner wisdom with gratitude for its guidance to this very point in time and space. Honoring one another with gratitude for the sweetness of our shared practice, and honoring the practice itself. This ancient wisdom having trickled down to our now moment, offering us guidance and ease. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May peace be cultivated from within, emanate outward, and expand throughout the universe. Namaste. Thank you all so very much for being here now.